They will be known as the Trump class, a new generation of U.S. battleships that will be, according to the U.S. Navy, the most lethal warship to ever be built. And the president himself plans to play a role in their design.
These are the best in the world. They'll be the fastest, the biggest, and by far 100 times more powerful than any battleship ever built. The U.S. Navy will lead the design of these ships along with me because I'm a very aesthetic person.
The Trump fleet joins a long and, yes, growing list of government entities bearing the president's name. The Trump Kennedy Center, the Donald J. Trump Institute of Peace, Trump RX, Trump Accounts for Newborns, and Trump Gold Card Visas. I'm sure that list will grow. My panel is back. Stephen Collinson, you wrote about this. Your lead of your piece for CNN.com was just call it Trump America, and this is what you write. It's not normal for presidents to name things after themselves. They usually have the modesty to wait for history's judgment and for a grateful nation to honor their service. Aircraft carriers named after JFK and Gerald R. Ford were laid down years after they died. President Joe Biden announced in January that future carriers will be named for Presidents Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. This is not normal.
No, it's not normal, but we do know that the president, throughout his business career, made a living by franchising and putting his brand on pretty much everything: hotels, golf courses, apartment blocks, etc. Now he's using the power of the presidency to do it on government institutions. That is slightly different. You remember he put his name last week on another man's memorial, the Kennedy Center. He basically closed down the U.S. Institute for Peace, then put his name on the front and attended an event there. This is clearly a president who is chasing a legacy in his own lifetime. He finds status and recognition something that is a driving force of his personality and politics. Some people might feel that this naming binge, however, goes too far. A lot of his critics are saying this is yet another sign of how the president use expansive power in ways that are counter to American democratic values.
And you say, and this has obviously been a trend through Trump's career. This is just when we showed you the names, current names of places that he has put the Trump label on, whether it's the Kennedy Center or the Institute of Peace. We talked about the gold card visas and the like. But then what about what he's done in the past? There was ventures that had failed before he became president. There was a Tour de Trump pro cycling race. Trump Shuttle Airline. I don't remember the Tour de Trump pro cycling race, to tell you the truth. I do remember Trump University. That got a lot of discussion in the first term. Trump Taj Mahal. I think I went to that many years ago. Trump Steaks, of course. So obviously this is a trend for Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, this is what he does. He built a name for himself, not out of building things for the most part, but of getting a small percentage stake in buildings and putting his name on it so that it would be a brand that people would be attracted to. I do think, though, in the work of the presidency, what's notable here is every president has a limited amount of time of any day. There's only so much that they can do. And you look at what Donald Trump has spent his time doing, even just in this past week, talking about the now Trump Kennedy Center, as they want to call it, even though it requires an act of Congress to call it that. The Trump that he's going to design battleships now. That's what he's spending his time doing. It's not doing a lot of other things that he could be doing. And I think as he's doing it, we're talking about building this ballroom at the White House. He's saying that affordability is a hoax. He's saying that all these things that other people want to talk about are not worth talking about, or at least not worth his time. And we will see how that continues to play out in the American public. I think what you can see already over the last couple of months is that there are a lot of voters who seem to think that his priorities are not in the right place.
Yeah, I mean, there's the president's most precious resource is his time, no question about that. But there's also just been criticism, particularly when it comes to putting his name on the Kennedy Center. As Isaac said, this is something that's in the law that's called the Kennedy Center. The board that he named voted to put the Trump Kennedy Center name on it. It's on the facade of the Kennedy Center. And even the Wall Street Journal, the conservative Wall Street Journal editorial page has a new editorial out saying the Donald J. Trump Center for Everything is the headline, and it criticizes his decision to move ahead with this.
Yeah, I think something that is notable here and an example kind of overshadowing all of this is how Trump is circumventing Congress in another way. And even looking at these battleships, sure, that's a tradition of how you name them, et cetera, et cetera. You don't need Congress's approval for that. But just how much it's going to cost to build these ships, 10 to 12 billion dollars. Current carriers are about 2.8 billion. Congress hasn't appropriated money for this. He's just announcing and saying, "Hey, I'm going to do this."
It's not even clear it would actually have this effect of what we would do deter China, for instance. Would it be
Exactly.
effective, or actually these fleet would actually be built?
Exactly. A lot of this is unilateral action on his part. Of course, he wants the recognition, the legacy, but there's another branch of government here, and they're not saying it.
Yeah.
They're not pushing back.
Segment before we go to break, I do want you to look at the photo that the White House put out today about the president and the first lady wishing everybody a very Merry Christmas. They're not smiling. That's Trump's MO.
Well, maybe this is a serious time. I don't know if that's what they're trying to convey. But yeah, that is, stone face is the exact right way to describe that. I mean, this is, they've certainly put their imprint on all manners of the White House. Obviously, preparing the White House for the holidays and decorating the White House, preparing for the holiday season was a big priority for Melania Trump, the first lady. And this is the image that they want to project to the public. And this very Merry Christmas season.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, as he says, yes, it's a serious time, but he says everything's great. It's an A+++,
true.
7 A++. I mean, he
Right.
doesn't seem very happy about it based on that photo, right? I mean, I may not be the expert on what makes for a Merry Christmas, but he doesn't seem merry.
Yes. But you're right. They choose to put that image out for a reason. Well, what's the reason? I guess we'll try to figure that out. All right, next. America